We're never covering Heartbeat.
Never say never.
I am going to check before, just to validate my argument that we're not covering Heartbeat.
It's funny,
I'm
me and
willing
my
to
mum
bet
still
there's
watch
no
it.
I'm sure it's very popular with your mum, but...
It's well popular with my mum.
Yeah, I still watch it.
There's so many episodes now and we've been watching it for so long, they've only just recycled them, so we've gone all the way back to, like, the first ones, where, like, the landlord was still in the police force and shit. But, I was like, fuck, they all look young.
Somebody added it up once, and if you added up all the time spent in Heartbeat, the show covered a longer time span than the 60s itself.
Fuck off.
No.
So...
No way.
That's
I'm sorry,
impossible,
but
because they'd
no.
have to have been filming consistently for over a decade.
Yeah, that, say, I don't know, something happens and then it cuts to 3 days later when the consequence of that action happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I
sort of
see.
thing. Yeah.
Oh,
If
shit.
you factor in times...
Yeah, you're right.
If you factor in time skips, maybe.
Yeah. But I just like the idea of this SCP that's out there where everything is permanently 60s, and I want to know how to get there so I can live there.
There are 74 Heartbeat fics.
74
Oh.
Heartbeat fics.
Yes.
Surprised there's any.
That's more than I was
Let me
expecting,
just-
to be fair.
It's people's mums are writing these ones, isn't it?
37 of them are written by the same author.
Ah, I see. It's
One
something
author
close to their heart.
contributes half of the Heartbeat fandom.
They've
Good on him.
found themselves a niche,
It is
and they're
mostly
just killing it.
Carol Cassidy / Rachel Dawson.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
One of them's a vampire AU set in Heartbeat.
Wow! That's
I mean,
excellent.
If you're a vampire, you'd want to go to 60s England
Two of them
because it's
are
dark
vampire
and dreary.
AUs
The
set
sun
in
never
Heart-
comes out in Yorkshire.
At least
Perfect.
2 of them. There's also 48 Have I Got News For You real person fics.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Several of them are explicit.
Wow. Who's that between?
Ian Hislop and Paul Merton.
I should have known old Ian was in it. He's
Yeah.
a lad, isn't he?
I'm very curious which one's the top in that pair. It doesn't specify in the tags.
You just have to read it and find out.
So one
Never
of the
watch that
episodes we'll
program
do-
the same way again. Hang on, have we drifted into what we're supposed to be? What are we supposed? Well, why are we here again?
We started with the trailer. We're eventually going to go back to talking about Yakuza.
Ah, excellent. Okay.
But one of our episodes this year is going to be obscure British shows that wouldn't get their own episode.
And
Okay.
I think like Heartbeat's going to be one of mine.
Heartbeat is definitely going to be on that list.
Yes.
'Cause, wow.
Yeah, 74 is a bit more prolific than we were expecting.
For many years, Michael Howard's vampirism was a running gag on Have I Got News For You.
Oh,
What
no.
few people realise is the panellists have their own little secrets.
Yes.
That is 700 words long.
I love this synopsis already.
Part 1 of the hot gay vampire sex of the satirical news show variety. Wow.
That's weirdly specific.
Cool. Yeah, we're covering that.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
this
me and Grace can chat more shit while you get stuff up.
this
Yeah,
bi
of course. Full of shit here.
Please don't say that again.
What?
Me and Grace can chat more shit while you get it up.
Oh. We're fluffing for you now.
It's not that kind of podcast, thankfully.
So,
Okay, I'm ready now.
I
All right.
sing for you. Is how Kiryu always starts his karaoke. I was just going to go with that for a bit.
Hey.
Oh, good.
I was going to
'cause you were
start karaoke.
You were just creeping me out because I didn't know what you're on about.
Okay, whenever Kiryu goes to do a song, he goes. He swaps to English and goes, I sing for you.
dear.
It's really cute.
Bless him.
No one else does it.
Fucking hell.
It's only Kiryu
It's just Kiryu.
going, I sing for you.
I'm gonna have to buy these games once I finish Far Cry 4.
He's out of his time, isn't he? He's supposed to be an Edo samurai, isn't he?
Okay, that is a bugbear for me. There are 2 games set in feudal Japan. There's Yakuza Ishin and Yakuza Kenshin, something like that. They've not been released in the West.
Oh, no.
I want to play. It's just everyone from the Yakuza games, but in feudal Japan. Like,
Oh, shit,
Majima's
okay.
a samurai. He's got a top knot. Kiryu's a samurai. Like,
You should exploit what little influence we have and try and get a petition going.
Sega, if Sega happen to be listening to this podcast, please
Force them. Link
Yakuza
it somewhere.
Ishin, put it on Steam, translate it.
You'll make a mint.
You'll make a
You
mint.
should do a fake leak for some game they've got, and then it turns out it's just a link to a petition.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, we can do that.
Sega, if you're listening to this, I have the script for Persona 6. Release Yakuza Ishin, or I spread it to the world. You have been warned.
Alternatively, we shall leak everything that happens in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic Frontier.
We know who you've cast as Shadow the Hedgehog, and we will announce them. We will announce that Adam Driver is going to play Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, God. He's not, is he?
I've no idea. I fucking hope he is. That'd be amazing. I can't think of another edgy boy who could do it.
Sebastian Stan plays a lot of edgy boys,
Yeah,
but they just
he
don't
could
talk
be.
very much. And he's just actually the same character, being defrosted as
true.
a super soldier
Project
experiment.
Winter Soldier. They do reference the Winter Soldier in Sonic 2 as well, so...
Well, yeah, he was the
Maybe.
Winter Soldier, he'd be perfect.
Uh,
I've got experience.
oh my God. I don't
It's
know
not
who
my
that
first
cast as Shadow.
rodeo.
The point is, I want Yakuza Ishin localized.
Yes.
Because this is the thing.
definitely.
Kiryu's ancestor, very keen on murder. Like,
Oh.
there's all the violent things that Kiryu present day does. Like, that's fine. But Samurai Kiryu has a gun. And he'll just fucking shoot people.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Like, yeah, he does kill people. He kills people a lot.
I tell you what, you got to be brave having those kind of guns, because they used to just fucking go off
Yeah,
whenever they
like he
fucking
fights with a
wanted, didn't
katana
they?
and a flintlock pistol, from what I've seen of it.
That
And
he's
it-
got to prime and load.
He's Kiryu. He just shoots it and it fires twice. He's too. Oh, and the karaoke is replaced with just sing-alongs in the bar.
Hey, nice.
Like, it's all just
Hey,
a cappella
nice.
tunes, but you can still do karaoke with the boys in feudal Japan.
Well, I suppose sea shanties were a thing, weren't they?
Yeah, it's like that. Only
Is
samurai.
there some like Meiko in the corner with like a lute
I think so.
or something similar?
We'll have to look it
Nice.
up after we record. But in the meantime,
God's sake, we're missing out here. All right, sorry,
Yeah.
carry on.
Nick, what have you been reading?
Okay, so I have been reading Creme Caramel, Beer and Strawberry Shortcake by Victory69. The relationship is Kiryu with Majima, our favourite eye-patched mad dog. So I read this because I wanted crack, and instead what I got was just two fucking old guys talking about how they're old, but then falling in love, which is kind of nice. So yeah, like, just old men having conversations and feelings. The story opens, our Kiryu is just walking towards the M store near his apartment. He lives in the suburbs of Tokyo. Not special, but it's kind of safe, and he feels like he belongs there, so it's all good. He lives with Haruka. He's looking after Haruka at the minute.
Okay.
And since he has basically been out till 2 a.m. doing his sort of crappy ex-con job, he decides that he's going to go to the store and get a pudding cup because it's Haruka's favourite. She's a bit pissed off with him because he's already told her that he won't make it home in time tonight before she goes to bed. So she's like, "Can you get me a pudding cup?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll get you creme caramel." So he goes into the shop and thinks, "Right, I'm just going to get the dessert and go home. That's going to be it." But of course, he's walking around the shop and he's looking for these pudding cups, and he gets to where they usually are, and the entire lineup of puddings was gone.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly. Surely the result of it being 2 a.m. and the shipment of new products not being in yet. But he thinks, for fuck's sake, she's asked me to do this one thing and I can't even deliver on it. So Kiryu's feeling pretty bad. But then he hears a familiar voice come from behind him that says, "Careful there, you'll catch fire if you keep thinking any harder."
That's a fucking line.
It's like, Majima, what are you doing here? So Majima's there. He hasn't got a bandage anymore, but he's got a scar around his midriff. He hasn't slept in a while, and Kiryu's like, yeah, I feel bad for not seeing him over the past year and stuff like that.
Okay.
And of course, Kiryu's just stood there in stunned silence at the minute. Majima's trying to elicit a response, like, morning to you too, what kind of guy going to a convenience store no more, that sort of thing. And then Kiryu notices that Majima is holding something.
He's got the last dessert.
No.
He shifted his stance, lifting a hand to rest on his hip, and that's when Kiryu noticed something odd in his leathered grip. Majima, Mad Dog Goro, has the last pudding cup.
Son of a bitch.
Shit, he's going to have to beat him bloody in an alleyway to get that, isn't he? He's got to make that choice. It's either you or Haruka.
Well, not that Kiryu doesn't try, but, he's like, you have a pudding cup. Majima sort of like holds it up to the light, turns it over in his hand, and he's like, "Oh, so I do. That's the last one. So it is. I need it actually." And Majima's like grinning, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and what are you willing to do for it? You'll have to fight me for it." And so that's what happens.
Oh my god.
They go outside.
It's classic Majima.
Yeah, classic Majima. They go outside and they have a fucking fight, and to all
I
intents
hope
and
they
purposes.
paid for the pudding first.
Oh no, they pay for the pudding afterwards. Like they leave the pudding cup
okay.
inside the shop.
Okay, good. Because I don't want Kiryu being a criminal by shoplifting a pudding cup before
No,
his fights. Because that's not on.
Literally,
Real
there is
Yakuza pay for their stuff.
Oh yeah, there is a store clerk there, and he's sort of a little bit wary of what's going on. These two grown
He
men
would be.
beating the shit out of each other for a fucking pudding cup.
I mean,
But no,
they're both
they leave the
Yakuza
pudding
legends
cup
at this
inside the
point.
shop because, of course,
Okay.
when the fight is over.
I take it Kiryu wins.
Oh yeah, Kiryu wins. He
Okay.
pins Majima down, and eventually, Majima just sort of goes limp.
Jesus.
Oh no, he's still alive. Obviously, it's fucking
Okay.
I mean,
Kiryu.
yeah,
you
because
you know.
Kiryu doesn't kill people, but he
So-
goes hard on this. He does not hold back just because he's not. He's a bit out of shape, but he's still doing
No,
well.
he's sort of pressing his face into the concrete, and then Majima struggles, and then eventually
classic.
he's just like, right, yeah, you win. That's it. So basically, Kiryu goes back in the shop to pay for the pudding cup, and he kind of feels bad. So what he decides to do was he buys a couple of beers and a strawberry shortcake in the hope that it would serve as an apology for taking the last pudding cup from him. So
That's quite nice.
he
of him,
goes,
in a
yeah,
way.
that's it. Yeah, it was sort of quite nice of him. I suppose he's thinking of Majima a lot, as you will see. But basically, he goes back outside. Majima's still laid in the car park. Kiryu's like, "Did you fall asleep?" And Majima's like, "Nah, still just thinking about how good that was." Not our best fight, but I still ain't had it like that in a long time.
Oh,
I see what you mean about Majima being fight sexual now.
oh, this is accurate to him in the games.
Yeah. So there's a bit of dialogue. Kiryu explains to Majima why he wants the pudding cup. It's like, "Oh, I want it for Haruka." And he's like, "Oh, so that's how it is." And he gets up and sort of...
Is he jealous of Haruka?
I don't think he's jealous of Haruka. I just think he didn't expect Kiryu to be looking after her.
Kiryu never fought me to win me a pudding cup. Fuck's
Or
sake,
may-
Majima.
Or maybe he doesn't know who Haruka
Oh, he
is.
knows who Haruka is. at this
No,
point.
no, he
What,
knows.
at this point
He
in
knows who
time?
Haruka
If
is.
it's after Yakuza 1, which it looks like it is, he
Yeah,
has
it is.
kidnapped Haruka.
Yeah, he knows who Haruka
Oh,
is, and it's
okay.
definitely post
In
kidnapping.
Yakuza 1, Majima is very much a villain. Like, he does kidnap her.
Okay.
He
Right,
holds her hostage.
I'm aware of the
and it's-
kidnapping through one of the multiple fics
It's
I've
pretty
read.
brutal, to be honest. Like, Majima owes her an apology.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, this is definitely post kidnapping. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Okay.
Oh Christ. Okay.
Okay, so basically, Kiryu noticed that Majima's got a twinge in the small of his back from the fight, and he's thinking about his own knee, which is sort of burning where he got kicked, and he's like, "Yeah, we're getting old. We're getting on a bit." And then he gives Majima he attempts to give Majima the strawberry shortcake, and Majima's like, "What the fuck is this? I feel bad for taking the pudding cup." "Yeah, well, I'm not a fucking charity case. You want it fair and square." And then, at that very moment,
Right.
Kiryu's about to stick it back in his bag when he hears Majima's stomach rumble. And
Aw.
it's like, look, just take the pudding. Just please take the pudding. And Kiryu's there just like looking at him thinking, for fuck's sake, man. And then Majima's like, fine then, only to get you to stop looking at me like that. Like you're my mum or something. Now, I will just mention at this time, of course, I don't really have a metric to how Majima would sound in English.
Okay, so Majima speaks with something called an Osakan accent.
Okay.
I think a rough approximation would either be like Glaswegian or possibly Scouse, but I prefer Glaswegian because I think that sort of fits his style a bit better.
Well, it's weird that you should say that. I mean, in my head, in this fic, he talks like Meowth from Pokemon.
I think Meowth does have an Osakan dialect in the Japanese one.
Yeah, in the
I could be
Japanese
full of
one
shit.
maybe, but like in the in the English dub, it's Brooklyn. It's pure Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn is sort of a rough translation. Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, that's it. It was so anyway. That was sort of what was going on in my head when I was reading this fic.
Yeah, that sort of
What he
fits.
sounds like Meow.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like Meowth basically. Okay, so finally gets him to take the cake, and he unwraps it, and of course, by the sounds of things, Majima he likes his fast food, and literally anything he gets, he just tears into and fucking devours. But he like unwraps this cake and very genteelly like takes the bites and savours it to the last bite and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, that was some good shit afterwards. And then they just they stood there in silence for a bit, sort of wondering what to do next. And then Majima's like, oh, you live far from here. And then he offers to walk Kiryu home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Aw.
which is kind of sweet of him. These streets are
See,
dangerous
I
at
think
night.
I
This is
mean,
a
I'd be
trap.
suspicious.
I'm worried of him.
Yeah, it absolutely does sound like a trap, especially coming from Majima, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to try and get another fight out of Kiryu, this would be the way to do it. Okay, so they walked to Kiryu's flat, and they're sort of stood there a little bit awkwardly, and Majima turns to go, but then Kiryu's like, wait a second, just stay for a while.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Majima's like, hey, what about your kid? Shouldn't you be getting back to her? And Kiryu's like, oh, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm not going to wake her up. Just wait there while I just go check on her and put this stuff in. So that's what he does. Haruka is asleep, surrounded by a squadron of dopey-eyed plushies.
Oh.
And then Kiryu's mind wanders. He tenses. He feels his heartbeat speeding up and heat crackling in his palms. And then he maybe realises that he thinks of Majima as a little more than just his friend.
Oh, this is
Ah.
a ship after all.
Yep, absolutely.
I thought they were just going to be friends.
That's it, exactly. He invites him in and he gives him a beer. And then they're just sat on the couch, both drinking an ice cold beer. And there's some lovely little exposition here. It's a rather long conversation. Majima sort of goes through what he wants from his future and stuff like that. He thinks he's going to get out of the clan, and he wants to go into construction and build shit.
Aha.
Okay.
So yeah, like, what are you thinking of doing instead? Asks Kiryu quietly, and Majima thinks for a minute and turns to him and says, building shit. Like construction work. That's what I was trying to sort out today. And Kiryu, being the loyal friend that he is like, well, if you do leave, I'll support you in whatever way I can. And then Majima's doing the whole sort of self-pity bit. It sounds like the only thing he knows how to do is be in a clan, really. So he's wondering whether to make it work. But Kiryu's thinking, well, what the fuck? You've probably got all the developers eating out of the palm of your hand by now because you give 110% in everything you do.
Mm.
And Kiryu's giving him a little bit of home truth. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's hard. Some days I barely get by, but there has to be something better for us out there. And Majima's a bit taken about by this. He's like, really? You really think that? And Kiryu's like, yep, I do. So anyway, conversation turns to something else. Kiryu says, how the hell are you not sweating in that outfit of yours, especially those pants? And then Kiryu's sort of looking at Majima thinking, oh, he must be sort of constricted and sweating in the leather. He thought that Majima ought to invest in some natural, more breathable materials to wear.
God, he's such an old man.
He's not
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly. And he's like, shit, when did I start thinking like this? Is this what it means to be a parent?
Man, you need some slacks.
Yeah.
Need some cotton
That's
sweat.
it, yeah. Something less sweaty, please, Majima.
I mean, he does a lot of fighting in those leather pants.
He does.
And
He
construction
does
work.
Yeah, fighting and construction
The
work, yeah.
chafing. Oh, the
But
chafing.
Majima's like, you saying I should take him off? And then he's
I
like,
see,
what?
okay.
What the fuck? And then Majima's, well, you weren't so keen when I did that strip show for you way back when, but hey, if you changed your mind, how could I say no? So I think we have established that Majima is very much into Kiryu as much as Kiryu is into Majima.
No. Okay.
And then they sort of go back to drinking, and Kiryu just sort of looks at Majima and says, "I really have missed you, though." And Majima's like, "What the fuck? Where's this coming from?" And Kiryu says, I don't know. It's true, though. Thought I should say it." And then Majima is established that Majima misses Kiryu, too.
Oh.
Oh.
I am making a habit out of this emotional vulnerability shit. I'm just tired as hell right now, but I guess I kind of missed you, too.
That's
That's a very
very
magical
Yeah,
way
by
of
the
putting
sounds
it.
of things, this is pretty true to character of old Majima, to be fair. Yeah.
kind. Depends on the game.
Yeah, he's like, Kamurocho's boring as shit without you. Sometimes I'll be wailing on some dude, and in the back of my mind I'll think about how it's never as fun as it is with you.
Yeah.
Sentimental, I
And-
guess.
And then they lock eyes, and then they kiss.
Oh.
So, and there's
Aw.
a very, very well-written, detailed description of the kiss. To be fair, it's actually quite sweet. It's not like it's not a smut fic by any means by any means, but it's
Yeah.
it's just a nice, sweet kiss scene. And then Majima's like, "What are we doing, me and you?" And basically says, "Since I'm still in the Tojo, you and I can't be together. It won't work.
Oh,
It absolutely won't work." And stuff
Sure
like
it
that.
can.
Put your fucking hard
Yeah.
hat on then. Build some shit.
That's it. And Kiryu's like, "So what? We're just supposed to never see each other again. I don't want that." And Majima's like, I don't know, but for what it's worth, I don't want that either." And then
Aw.
Kiryu's like, "Well, I'll wait for you." For
Bloody hell, some heavy gangster
yeah,
feels
exactly.
tonight.
It is. It's really quite sweet. There's Kiryu like pouring his heart out. Like, when you get out the Tojo, I'll be here. There's just these two sort of 40-something-year-old men who've been through the mill a little bit by the sound of things. Pouring their hearts out to each other and eventually making a plan for the future.
I do find it a bit odd that the Tojo clan seems to be the Jedi in terms of you're not allowed to date outside of it.
All right, okay.
I mean, I can't see any other reason they couldn't date.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Because I did wonder, like, why can't a Yakuza date an ex-Yakuza,
You
that
can
sort of
a-
thing.
I don't think that's a thing. Because
Yeah, but-
otherwise, like,
I know that it's a thing you're not allowed to have relationships or sort of connections with people from other gangs. So maybe
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
so just
yeah.
in
even then, that
case you're gonna
happens
get
sometimes in
stitched
the
up.
games. Like,
Oh,
Kiryu
fuck
joins
me, I
like
don't
3
know.
different
Life's
clans
complicated.
through the course of the games. So,
maybe that's why.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe that's why. So, anyway, they come to the conclusion Kiryu will wait for Majima, and then once they're out of the Tojo, they can work to make sure that they never bother them again, and they can go somewhere with Haruka, and Majima can build shit again, find their happily ever after, so to speak.
Yeah, I noticed they mentioned moving down south, maybe Okinawa.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what happens in Yakuza 3. Like, that's where Kiryu builds his orphanage.
Oh, there we go then. Yeah.
So, it's kind of sad that Majima didn't go with him.
Yeah, it is, judging from this fic. But I reckon this is maybe like part of a Fix-It universe, if you know my meaning. So yeah, they kiss again, and Majima's like, you don't know how long I've wanted to do this for. So, and Kiryu's like, well, I wish you could stay the night. And then Majima's like, what, you're not inviting me in? The hell? That ain't very gentlemanly of you. Turns out that Kiryu has a shift tomorrow, and he's got like 4 hours to get some sleep.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
yeah, that's fine. And Majima's like, well, it's only a few hours away, you may as well stay up. So yeah, basically, Majima is, he's determined to get Kiryu into bed at some point. Not tonight, because of course Kiryu said no, Majima is a gentleman.
It's good of him.
Yeah, which is quite nice of him. What he's going to do is he's going to go home, and then he's going to sleep the full 8 hours, and then ring Kiryu afterwards. So, yeah. And then Kiryu wants Majima to apologise to Haruka for the kidnapping.
Good.
And then afterwards, you know, you can take her to the arcade and win her over by winning her some plushies, even though she's got more. And then there's quite a sweet sort of thing from Majima here. I'll work so hard for you, Kiryu-chan. You and Haruka. I'll build the best down building Kamurocho's ever seen. Better than the fucking Millennium Tower, and we'll rake in so much cash we'll be able to swim in it, Kiryu-chan. We'll move way down south, maybe Okinawa, and I won't let any of them Tojo fucks get in our way again. Just you see. And, yeah, they both know it's just a dream at the minute, but now it just doesn't seem so wrong to dream just a little. And Kiryu thinks on this thought as he's lulled into sleep.
Let these boys be happy, for
Yeah,
fuck's sake.
I found that quite sweet.
Yeah.
And
So that's not to the fic, that's to Sega. Let
Yes.
them do this.
let Kiryu retire with Majima.
Yeah. Run an orphanage together with the 5 cool uncles.
Yeah, exactly. I think they should do that. I just wanted to see 2 morons fighting over a pudding cup, and what I got were feels instead.
Yeah.
Came for the pudding, stayed for the emotional roller coaster.
That's kind of true of Yakuza as a fandom, though, isn't it? Like, I started playing it going, oh, look at this goofy crime game. It's just like GTA, but in Japan. And then
the credits
I'm
are
just
rolling
crying
and
my
you're thinking
eyes
of
out
family.
because
You're just in bits.
yeah, because they wrote like a really sad crime drama, and it's interesting that these fics, especially this one, have replicated that formula.
I know.
Hey, we're here for goofiness, and then just heartbreak.
From what you've told me about the Yakuza games, this captured the essence of them pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean,
it does.
literally, I think the only sort of difference between this and the Yakuza games is that Majima and Kiryu end up in a relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Victoria69, top work, and thank you for introducing me to the Yakuza fandom.
Definitely.
I wanted 2
anything
idiots
else you
fighting
want?
over a pudding cup, and instead I got 2 old men talking
Love.
about the future.
Found love.
Yeah.
And fighting over a
I
pudding
got
cup. You
both.
got
Yeah,
You
I
got
had
it
my
all, mate.
cake, and I had my cake and ate it.
You had your pudding cup and you ate it.
I did.
So yeah, that was very good. So Grace, what have you been reading?
I have been... You know what, this has slightly frightened me because I can't find where it says the tags.
It's only got characters on the tags.
Yeah. That's thrown me completely because
It's
I like
no
going through the
Do you want to
tags.
say? Shall we tell us what you've been reading first?
Yes, I should. Right. So I have been reading 5 times Majima was completely obvious, and 1 time he got hit by the clue bus by Plingo Cat.
1 time he got hit by the clue bus. I love that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So this has
Yes,
got some
like a
characters we've
train.
not mentioned. Do you want me to do like a brief summary of who they are?
Yeah, if you want to quickly go through who everyone
Okay.
else, who
So
everyone is. that'd be-
characters in this: Kiryu Kazuma, you're very familiar with him.
Oh boy.
Majima Goro, our
Hi,
eye patch
Patchman.
boy.
Our other boy.
Haruka Sawamura, Kiryu's adopted daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Date Makoto is a hard-boiled detective who wears a beige raincoat, who helps Kiryu solve crimes from time to time.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
He's very close to retirement through all the Yakuza games. At one point, he does retire and runs a bar.
Nice.
Like, he's all the detective cliches.
I really like that.
Yeah, you'll like Date. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nishida is Majima's right-hand man.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of blends in, but he's in that poster. The We Build Shit poster. He's the one wearing a blue shirt. He gets the rough end. I say he's the right-hand man. He feels more like Majima's carer. Like, he's got to sort of rein him in.
He's the secretary that has to just go along
He's
with his
the-
crazy boss's antics.
Yeah, he's the secretary / dog's body / he gets roped into doing all kinds of dangerous shit for Majima,
Oh,
including
bless him.
defusing a bomb at one point.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Majima's there's a point he's defusing a bomb. Majima is reading him the instructions and being like, is it red? Is it blue? And poor Nishida's just like, oh god. Like, he's very put upon, and he's a sweet boy, and he deserves better.
Oh, bless him.
I hope Nishida is happy in this fic. He deserves to be happy in some
he's
universe.
He's fine
Yeah.
in this fic.
Kage, the florist, or just the florist he's known as, is a information broker who works in Kamurocho. He has a base in the sewers
That
where he has
explains
hacked
stuff.
all the CCTV cameras in the city.
I wondered about that. I had no
watches
idea what the fuck was
everything.
going on in this fic. I was like, why has the florist got so many cameras?
They call him the florist, but that's just his name that he goes by.
Okay.
In actual fact, he runs the underworld, which is like this city below Tokyo. There's an arena in there, and there's his offices, which is just like a massive, like, he has eyes all over the city, between both having all the CCTV cameras and also a network of homeless people who watch everything.
Okay, that's interesting.
He's like
He's the
maybe
king of...
yeah, he's the kingpin.
Yeah, kind of.
He's the guy
Sorry.
off John Wick.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He sounds fucking rad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Everyone in the Yakuza world is rad, but yes. All of these people have one thing in common. They're all single dads.
Oh my god. Nice.
Oh, man.
I hope that comes up in this, but I'll let you carry on. That's all the characters in this.
Blah, blah. Sorry.
Am
It
I
just came
boring
over
you?
me. Right, summary. This is Date trails off, eyes wide, as Majima slinks closer, nose to nose with Kiryu. Is he always like this? So essentially, this is the story goes. It's different people's point of view, and so we're starting off with Detective Date. That's how you pronounce his name?
Date, yeah.
Date. And Haruka is like, yes, quite matter-of-factly, and then she just tugs the hem of his coat, like, Date-san, can we go play in the arcade? Uncle Kiryu has to beat Majima-san up now, and it always takes a while.
I love how she's not worried about him at all. It's like, okay,
yeah, she don't give a shit.
this is boring. Let's go to the arcade. They're gonna do their thing. I'm really bored of these fights.
Yeah.
Let's go play on the arcade.
Well, Date says, and then he sees Majima get out a knife, and he abruptly decides that discretion is the better part of valor, and that Kiryu definitely doesn't want Haruka exposed to a knife fight, and he's like, yeah, sure, and he just takes her to the arcade. So they're playing in the arcade for about 15 minutes. Date is just wringing his hands, while Haruka is just like, yeah, another day at the office, my dude, leave him to it. And she's just smashing high scores and starts winning plushy toys like a fucking boss. That's how he happens to like look out the window and sees Majima like pressed up against the glass like a horror movie zombie blood trickling down his nose, while Kiryu just lurks behind him looking exasperated. And it's just like, oh.
I think they're done.
Yeah.
Legend.
Either way, he pulls him out, and it's by the time they get to the door, Kiryu has managed to manhandle Majima into a less terrifying position a little further down the street. And once again, Kiryu has his face extremely close to Majima's, and then he leans back and Date sees it's because Kiryu's lighting Majima's cigarette, and he sort of like settles a bit. It's like, oh, okay. Well, don't know what that was about, and that's okay, whatever. Haruka pipes up with, oh, look what I won at the arcade, and she holds up the arcade toys, and it's like this plushy
Sunshine.
pink bird and a blue bird,
Mm-hmm.
and Kiryu's like, oh wow, they're so cool, can I have one? And she straight up tells him he can't have one, because you can't, because I'm giving it to Majima-san. Majima-san, I got this one for you, so you have somebody to keep you company while you stop bleeding.
Oh.
And I got you a blue one because you're always hanging out with boys. And he's like, and Majima just takes it on his side, like, yeah, I like guys. They're strong, just like you, Shan. And you, of course, because I like kids too, you know. But I think I'll name him Ryu-chan. And you get this exchange going on for a little bit. And he goes, but he's a bird, not a dragon. And he's like, true. But I like dragons best, see? So I gotta name him after dragon. Besides, dragons are like dinosaurs. Yeah, like dinos, Haruka. So, thought so. Every kid likes dinosaurs, but dinos are ancestors to birds, so Ryu-chan is technically
You can't
part dragon
fault his
anyway.
logic.
And Date, the hard-boiled detective, just sort of blinks at him like, Majima, what? And hey, Date, don't boo him, he's right.
Yeah.
He's fucking right.
He is,
I
fair
think
enough.
he's just
We
gobsmacked
don't know
that
if
Majima
dragons
came
are
out with
related to
this.
dinosaurs, so you don't know either. You have no right to judge. I rant over. Right.
Yeah, I think Majima's just in awe that that came out of Majima. Because that's really smart logic. And yeah, it's very impressive.
Either way, Majima turns round to Kiryu and he's like, speaking of, hey, Kiryu-chan, you better not bail out on our date tomorrow, okay? And he's like, I'm not bringing a baseball bat to your party, Majima. It's not every day a guy turns 42, you know. And he starts pouting and it just looks so wrong. Date starts backing away slightly. Aren't you gonna make all my wishes come true, Kiryu-chan? Not with a bat, I'm fucking not. And they all part ways. Full disclosure, Majima and Kiryu aren't dating. So a lot of this is all about everyone noticing how there's like some sort of tension there and bringing them together.
Oh, okay.
So just in case, because like I realise I've
see.
cut out a lot of bits that make it more obvious,
that's
but for the sake of
okay.
time I've got to do it. Right, now we get on to Nishida's point of view. Okay, so it's now the day of the party, and this is the first time that Nishida has actually seen Kiryu. And I go, Kiryu-chan! Majima's eyes go wide, and he's delighted, and then the most genuine grin Nishida has ever seen on Majima's face spreads over his cheeks. You came! And Kiryu's face seems like it's made of permanent frown lines. I said I would. Like,
That's fair.
Majima offers him a drink, and Kiryu squints, suspicious, which is totally justified. If Nishida was ambushed at least 3 times a week by Majima, he would be suspicious too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So the party goes on, and Kiryu finds out that Nishida is the one who organises all of Majima's bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
the zombie
yeah, he does.
ambush.
I was going to mention that, yeah. Nishida was in charge of all the makeup and for the entire gang.
Yeah, this is the first time they've met, and he's just like, yeah, I'm the guy who does all the things. And Kiryu is just staring him down like, you. And then, luckily, Majima steers Kiryu away before poor Nishida gets turned into a Yakuza smoothie, right?
I take
Either
issue
way.
with Kiryu being upset at Nishida for that. He was just following orders.
No,
Yep.
we don't know what he was thinking, but he gave him like a long stare.
Okay. He might have just shook
This is
his hand.
Nishida's point of view. He doesn't know
Okay.
what was going on in Kiryu's head. He just knew he was going to shit himself.
Fair. Kiryu's got an intense face.
Either way, Nishida is going to bring over some wine for them and shit, or sake or whatever, and he turns around to check on them, and Kiryu is allowing Majima to manhandle him into the booth chair, and he decides to get the fuck out of there. It's none of his business how much Majima gropes his dragon, Kiryu, whatever. Nope, he's gonna get that Yamazaki, drop it off, and then go hang out with Koji and Minamoto. It's none of his business. None of his
Fair
damn
enough.
business. Okay, now we get on to the florist.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's been enjoying himself watching his surveillance tapes. Him and the surveillance staff are all just trying to guess where Majima will ambush Kiryu next. Trash can, car trunk, off the roof of a Toy Story building. Who knows, right? And
Those all
they all
happen.
start to ship them. Like, the staff even start to make little AMVs with pink filters and glitter of their
my
fights.
God.
Hey!
They're flirting. And, well, it's not hurting productivity, and if his men want to entertain themselves by making romantic home videos of the 2 most infamous Yakuza in Kamurocho, that's their prerogative, and he'll stay well out of it. Except for the betting. He's running
running
the
the
betting.
bets.
I like how they refer to Majima as Eye Patch Yakuza.
Yeah.
Which is what they call the plastic model of him that you can pick up from Wish.
Oh, is it?
God, I hope so.
Nice.
I have no idea. It's just a guess, but it needs to be.
I reckon it'll be there.
Yep.
Right, Haruka's POV. So, Kiryu comes home limping, so he's obviously been fighting with fucking Majima again, and she's like, right, I'm sick of this bullshit now. Uncle Kiryu is always coming home injured, and now I'm helping patch this sad sack up in the bathroom, you know what I mean? Either way, there's this very sweet exchange between the two where she's like, just tell him you like him and stop hitting him. Have you tried being nice? You know? And Kiryu's just like, I don't know, grown-ups are complicated and yeah, I'll think about it, alright? I'll think about it. And
Oh, this is cute.
and she just wants them to kiss and make up. She drops the conversation for now.
I love this line.
She's not going to let it go.
Is it like when boys pull a girl's hair when they like them? He's just like,
High school romance.
yeah.
What do you mean high school? No one's doing that at high school.
Nick, if you were doing that at high school, that explains a lot about your love life, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I didn't date
no.
until I was 18.
Jesus. That's because you're making girls bald.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have hair now, it's karma.
Yes, it is.
Alright, finally we're getting on to the main boys. Kiryu's POV. Okay, his point of view. Kiryu is out having a cigarette thinking about what Haruka said, you know. It's proper rattled our boy. He's never made the first move before. And baby Majima doesn't like him that way. He just
doesn't,
likes
no.
fighting. Maybe. Hey, Kiryu-chan! Naturally, Kiryu jumps out of his skin and launches his lighter. Of course, Majima just fucking came out of nowhere, you know what I mean?
waiting for it.
Very on brand. Majima claims he's just out for a stroll, and don't worry, they won't find and wake up Haruka. And this leads to this little exchange where Kiryu decides, well, fuck it, he's going to make a subtle move. So Majima leans in with an unlit cigarette, because Kiryu's going to light it for him. And Kiryu just holds lightly the back of his neck, and Majima just stops breathing. And very coolly, Kiryu's like, you have to suck for it to work, Majima non. You know, just like...
No.
And Majima is just like left speechless as Kiryu just like coolly walks back inside the building, leaving him on the street, like power move.
Damn.
You have to suck for it to work.
All of these fights, this is how he kills Majima.
Just stunned silence.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Majima's POV.
Oh, sorry. This is very clever. Look, if the numbering goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, that's the order the games came out.
Hey, nice.
Because the prequel
Very
0
good.
came out after 5. Very funny.
Very, very good. Majima's point of view. So for 2 days after that interaction, he's been sulking in the family office and beating up mooks to feel better. What's a mook?
Goon.
Okay, cool. I did wonder, I was like, huh? Alright.
Just
Okay.
the thug level, street level Yakuza.
Okay. Cool. Eventually, even he gets sick of his bullshit and decides it's time to face Kiryu head on. The guy so boneheaded Majima will gain points just for trying. Not that he's just going to try. He's going to knock Kiryu-chan's socks off. Oh yeah, he reassures himself. He's got the wit. He's got the charm. He can do this, bro. He can do this. He's Majima. He can do this. Got wit, got charm. He can do this. He can do
Style.
this. He can do this, Majima.
Okay.
Go on, Majima.
I believe in you.
Kodai. Like,
Kyodai.
Go find your happiness.
Alright, so, Kiryu-chan, he leaves at Kiryu's back. He has a moment to register the small figure at Kiryu's side, and the frankly criminal way his slacks fold at the crease of his ass, before Kiryu's fist impacts with his face.
Just knocks him out.
Just turned around and punched him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Majima has been laid out onto the pavement. His vision is blurred, but he can just about see a worried Kiryu come into focus. And, like, it's blurry, and he's got, like, the cliche fairy lights going on behind him from from like the city around him and all that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then and then like Haruka comes into view as well, and he's like, "You all right, mate?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, fine.
You're bleeding.
Yeah, you're bleeding, and he's oh, don't worry about me, and I could, and Haruka pops a little fist on her hips, and she's like, "I can worry about you if I want to." She goes, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I guess so, but I ain't too bad. It's just a love tap," and leers at Kiri. It's like. Kiryu also looks concerned in a sort of Kiryu way, which means he's glaring so hard that if Majima were made of lesser stuff, he'd have pissed his pants.
Classic Kiryu.
You're gonna kiss it better, Kiryu-chan, and flutters his eyelashes in a very Goromi fashion, which is his.
That's his drag
Majima's drag act.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to know.
I'd forgotten the Majima's
Goromi-chan.
drag act.
Yeah. Either way, he raises his hand and touches Majima, and it comes away red, and like Kiryu gets a bit feels a bit guilty, and Majima decides to swing it his way. Maybe it's because he's got concussion. Don't know. How are you gonna make it up to me? He says so low that Kiryu has to lean into here. And so they're sort of like breathing in each other's face, only there's no cigarettes between them this time. It's getting close. Either way, you can tell this is kind of where my script ran out of time.
Oh, I see.
Because now I'm reading it again, going.
Oh, I thought you were pausing just because you were like, too burly man.
In that case, you can cut out me saying that and make it look like a dramatic pause.
I was going to say, you don't have to, like, tell on yourself, Grace.
Yeah.
I like being honest, because, like, I like the benefit of the doubt.
I suppose...
Either way, they're getting close, and Haruka-san just pipes up with, "You should just kiss him, Oji-san. It's what you both want."
Hey.
And Imagine's like, "Listen to the girly girl. She's smart, yeah?" And gives him a kiss.
Hey.
Hey. And it's a momentous event, the culmination of 10 years of undiscovered desire. The world should stop spinning, and the choir of angels ought to start singing. But really all that happens is that Majima makes a muffled moan into Kiryu's mouth and yanks him hard enough to tip both of them off balance. Majima ends up on the floor for the second time that night, but this time he's got Kiryu sprawled on top of him. Get off, you big lug.
Is this the rare
Sorry.
top Kiryu?
Oh, only... yeah, top Kiryu by accident. Accidental top Kiryu.
Wow. Very rare top Kiryu.
Oh, this is a disaster, but we can try again, Kiryu-chan. And it's sort of like the reluctant snort comes out of him, and it thinks, it's all very cute.
I love that line.
Yeah, go on.
This time, he correctly identifies the ache in his chest to be affection.
And a part of his brain, which isn't making incessant gabbly motions at Kiryu, is already cataloguing all the heartburn medication.
He's been taking heartburn meds all this time. He's like,
it wasn't indigestion.
This is
it
what
was
love feels like.
Love feels like indigestion, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Oh, Majima.
Oh, thank you, Plingo Cat. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, this is really wholesome and cute.
Yeah, that was wonderful, that.
This gets my seal of approval.
Oh, bless them both. May they find happiness.
Yeah, I'm really curious when this is set, because it's sort of ambiguous.
It is ambiguous. I think it's past the point where they've kind of forgiven everyone for dumb shit and gotten used to each other. Because there's no mention of a kidnapping in here whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Haruka likes Majima at this point, but it looks like they're living in Tokyo now, so I guess it's between 2 and 3.
I'm assuming at some point, like, Majima has just carried on fighting him on a regular occurrence,
sure.
and so she's just like, fucking not
you.
again. It's just him again. He was
Fucking
scary the first
Majima.
time, but now he's just a fucking nuisance.
Yeah, that's about right. That's kind of how I imagine their relationship.
I just sort of want them to raise her together now, you know.
Yeah, like
It's just where I'm sort of sitting with it, you know. Yakuza should have ended there after this story in particular. They should have, because this is a very Yakuza
I have to
story, and
disagree.
it would have fit perfectly. And then they could have just moved to Ichiban and just left this happy ending right here.
no,
But
I
they
want
didn't.
the
Fuck you, Sega.
I want the next 4 games of Kiryu and Majima running the orphanage together.
Hey,
Like moving to Okinawa and raising their
I like
8
that.
kids. Because Kiryu has 8 kids that he raises in Yakuza 3. So,
Oh.
yeah, we need that, but also Majima with him.
I don't know. Do we trust Majima with kids? 'Cause
Yeah.
he strikes me as the one who gets them into trouble, but also gets them out of trouble. And Kiryu's
That's
just
true.
exasperated constantly on like blood pressure medication,
That's true.
popping beta blockers like M&Ms.
But on the other hand, the timeline would have gone so much better if Majima was running the orphanage with him. Because there's so many problems in this game, being like, oh no, if Kiryu's fighting the boss, who's protecting the orphanage? And many things go horribly wrong because of that.
and then it just cuts to Majima setting the
Yeah,
kitchen
and if
on
Majima
fire.
was
yeah,
there,
who
they'd
is
be like,
who is
okay,
looking after the
Majima's
orphanage?
protecting the kids.
We need an adult in here. You are an
Yeah.
adult. Shit. Where's Kiryu?
Exactly.
Oh dear. Yeah, I thoroughly
Give me
enjoyed
that slice
this.
of life.
Mm.
Thank you, Plingo cat. Plingo cat. This was very cute. Okay, I guess that leaves me and what I've been reading.
Yep,
Yep.
go for it.
That
Jim,
means
what have you been reading?
I'm gonna break this this combo chain that you've got going because I did not read a Kiryu Majima fic.
Oh no!
But there are
I
no
read-
other ships.
There is one other Majima ship, and that is the ship I sail on.
Oh, it'll be the ship you
I've-
sink with.
I've mentioned this to you before. I do not ship Kiryu and Majima because there is someone else out there for Majima, and I think they are far cuter. So, with that said and done, I would like to introduce you to Matchmaking for a Stubborn Idiot by Phantom_Hearts.
At least they've got the Majima name nailed down in the title, really.
Yes, they do. He is the stubborn idiot that we are matchmaking for.
Oh,
This fic is Majima Goro with Makimura Makoto. Now, Makimura Makoto is the girl that Majima was assigned to protect in Yakuza 0.
Oh my god,
Oh
there's
my-
a girl in this one.
oh my
Yeah.
God! Light the straight beacon.
This is a heterosexual fic, like that straight beacon.
I hate
So-
it when the
Wow.
straight beacon goes up,
Brief
but alright.
background on Makoto. So, Majima is hired to kill her, and that is going to be his redemption. He's been kicked out of the Yakuza. He'll be allowed in if he kills this person called Makoto Makimura.
Okay.
Makoto is a gender-neutral name. He was expecting a burly man that he'd have to go and fight. When he gets there, he meets a blind girl. And he sort of goes, oh, I can't kill this blind girl. She's very pretty, and it kind of feels weird to do that.
I mean, I
So-
suppose he's got morals.
He does. And
Yeah.
then he falls for her, and he fights all the Yakuza to protect her.
The entire Yakuza.
Yeah.
Why
He
did
is her
they want her
bodyguard for
dead?
ages. That is a very long and convoluted explanation for that. But I'll just stop and say it involves real estate. And
Oh, for
leave it at
fuck's
that.
sake, okay.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Say no
Do you want me
more.
to go into this?
No.
Okay. So yeah, he has to protect her. She goes through a lot of psychological trauma. Turns out her blindness is psychosomatic, and by the end of the game, she is no longer blind, but they've been separated. She does not know what her protector looks like.
Oh.
And by the
no.
end of the game, Majima doesn't want to see her because he's horribly scarred and broken as a man, and he's like, no, I'm not worthy of spending my time with her. I'm going to set her up with the handsome doctor that's been treating her, and then I'm going to stay out of her life.
Oh, Majima.
Yeah. And it's very sad. And that is, that's TLDR of Majima's story in Yakuza 0.
Oh, man.
But anyway, Chapter 1, Karaoke for 2. Kiryu, having a normal day. He's wandering around the streets of Kamurocho. Some thugs have fought him. He's decked them. But ultimately he's kind of bored. That's when he sees the karaoke shop is open. And he goes, yeah, I could go for some karaoke.
Is that what they're called? Karaoke shops?
Sorry, no, it's a karaoke bar. I misspoke.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it just
Karaoke
booze
can.
and singing?
Yeah, you go in, you book a booth, and you do some singing for like half an hour.
I just like this idea of going in and saying, I'll have an ounce of karaoke, please.
I know, right? In all seriousness, Japanese karaoke bars look fantastic. You get a soundproof booth with just you and your mates. You sing, they bring you drinks. Looks like a good time.
Yeah, it does. I'd
I'd
be up for
love
more
to do
karaoke.
one of those. If they
Yeah.
ever open in Britain, I will be the first there.
Yes, definitely.
While
But
you
anyway.
talk, I'm going to look up if karaoke bars exist in the UK.
Please do.
Carry on.
But Kiryu doesn't want to do this on his own. So he calls up one of his mates. So he gets out his flip phone, because it's 2006. He calls up Majima.
Hey! Oh,
And
boy.
Majima's like, yo, Kiryu-chan, what's up? And Kiryu's like, yo, I'm at karaoke. Do you want to come join me? Majima's like, yeah! I'm sick of working. I'll be there in a few minutes. He hears Majima just yelling at Nishida, be like, yo, you're in charge. Don't let this place burn down again. If it does, it's coming out of your paycheck. Majima hangs up. Kiryu waits. 10 minutes later, Majima barges in, just tired out of breath, like, oh, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Kiryu. Oh. Like, he has
10
run
minutes?
top speed to get from the building site he was on to the karaoke bar. He's
Hey,
just
karaoke's a good
bolted.
time, bro.
Karaoke is a great time, and especially with Kiryu. So Kiryu's like, oh, bro, I was expecting it to be longer. He's like, no, it's fine. Come on, let's karaoke. So they do. They go book a booth. They settle in. Have a brief discussion about who's going to go first. Talk about singing. Who sings first? I think Kiryu sings first. Oh no, Majima goes first. He sings Rouge of Love. Kiryu blasts out Bakamitai, because it's a classic. And
Yes.
you can't do a karaoke night without Bakamitai.
No, absolutely not.
And Majima sort of goes, okay, one more for me. Pass me the mic. He sings a song called As Long As You're Happy from the game Yakuza 2.
Oh, no. He's singing it about
It's quite a sweet
Makoto.
song.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a brief interlude. I've pulled up the translated lyrics. So, I'm just going to read you a few of those lyrics. If I could take the world and rewrite it however I like, I'd make a harem that everyone could snap up. But if
What?
that would make you happy, I won't. If I had to live in a stinky countryside house, wrapped up in a tattered futon, a pillow as hard as a gravestone, if I had to sleep like that forever, if that would make you happy, that's fine. As long as you're happy, it's fine. I don't care. If you're happy, it makes you happy, it's fine. That's why, please wipe those tears away. As long as you're happy, I don't care. It's a really sad song, is the point I'm trying to make here.
Oh,
As long as
we're
you're
just
happy,
laughing.
it's fine. I don't care. Even if something priceless gets ruined, if you're happy, if it makes you happy, I don't care. However many times, whatever it takes, I'll treat you.
and
Listen. This is the main point. You can be happy. You can live on with a smile. That's all I want. That's it. That's all I ask. That way, yes, it would make me happy. I love you. Please don't forget me. That's all I really want to say.
Honestly, how can something so stupid be so fucking sad?
I know, right? This is the same game as when he's pretending to be a zombie so he can fight Kiryu. So he's pulling out this song. It's fucking heartbreaking. Majima, he's only got one eye, but tears are streaming from it.
Aww.
And Kiryu's just like, oh, is he okay? This isn't the Majima I'm used to. And that's when Kiryu looks at Majima's wallet, and sticking out of that wallet is a photo. And that photo is of Makoto Makimura, who Kiryu knows because they meet in Yakuza 0. And it's very clear the photo was taken, like, stealthily. Like, it's it's not like a group photo of them together. It's just one he's found. Like, he's followed her somewhere, he's taken the photo incognito and just sort of kept it ever since. So, Kiryu and Majima never actually meet in Yakuza 0. But he's heard stories about this stoic, one-eyed man who was protecting Makoto Makimura. And it's at this point he sort of puts it together and is like, oh shit, that was Majima.
That was Majima.
He was a badass back then, and he's clearly very sad about not being with this girl anymore. And that's when
Oh
the
god,
Yakuza...
is he gonna wingman?
That's when the Yakuza sub-story music starts playing in my brain, because I can hear this as a Yakuza side quest. And there's always a little guitar string when Kiryu finds a new side quest. And that's clearly what's happened here. He's clearly realized, I'm gonna set them up.
Oh,
Yeah.
god.
So when Majima's done with the song, he just hands back the microphone and just goes, thanks for listening, bro. And Kiryu just asks, are you okay? You're crying. And he's like, no, mate, no, allergies. Let's go. Sure. But you are crying, aren't you? Is it about Makoto? And that's when Majima flips. His accent is dropped. He pulls out his knife. He just holds Kiryu up against the wall. It's like, drop it. Leave Makoto's name out of this. She's got nothing to do with me anymore. And yeah, then he goes back to being Funky Osaka Majima. But yeah, mind your own business. It's fine. And then this only makes Kiryu more determined. Like, okay, we're gonna make this happen. So
this is, if you'll forgive the expression, this is like the blind leading the blind at this point.
oh yeah, neither of them have game.
Yeah, it's just an idiot wingmanning for an idiot.
Absolutely. Only one of these idiots is determined to not see this girl again. So this could be
He's going to
interesting.
put 110% into doing something he's got no capability of.
Yep.
And he's going to cry like a bitch when it goes wrong, but he's going to funnel money, Yakuza money, into getting it right like he does with his cars.
Well, luckily, he's gathered his... he's put a team together. They've gone to the bar.
Oh no, he's got a team.
He's
Okay.
got Date, his
Yeah.
hardball detective.
He's going to find her, yeah.
Haruka is involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they're,
bait.
they're
Yeah.
discussing if this is a good idea.
Oh, right, okay.
And Date's like, no.
Is
He's a fucking lunatic. This seems a bad idea.
Is the conclusion, no, this is a terrible idea, but we're going to do it anyway?
No.
See, I thought, I've got this feeling that Dato's going to find where they are, and then they're going to, like, see her, and Haruka's just going to run in front of a bus in front of this woman, and she's going to
What?
dive at it or something. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I just feel like that's a Yakuza fashion thing to do, because that's the sort of plan Kiryu would come up with, even though it's
That
really
is-
bad.
Luckily, this isn't Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
That doesn't happen. So, weirdly, Haruka's actually in favour of this plan. She thinks, yeah, we gotta set him up. I don't mind that he kidnapped me. He still deserves to be happy. All this sort of thing.
That's really magnanimous of her, to be fair.
Kiryu's just like, are you sure? He did kidnap you last year. And she's just like, eh. It didn't seem like he wanted to do it. He was just following orders. And he did tell his men that he'd kill them if I got hurt. So I think he's probably a good guy deep down.
So that's fine, then.
Less kidnapping, more forced babysitting.
Haruka's been kidnapped like 3 times so far in her life.
Oh,
and
I can
she's
see
8.
I can see why she doesn't give a shit about
Yeah.
it. She's like, yeah, well, it's
Just-
a daily, you know.
Oh no, not again. Oh no.
Pretty much. So they talk about this. So I've always said that Kiryu gives 110% and he's hyper competent at a lot of things.
Yeah.
The one thing he isn't hyper competent at is computers. He's like Grace. He had no idea about technology.
How fucking dare you? It's true, but how
So-
fucking dare you?
So they're discussing how they're going to do this, and Kiryu's like, well, I've checked the phone book and couldn't find her. And Date's like, damn, that's all I got too.
Oh no!
I've checked the phone book and I couldn't find her either.
Oh, they're both outdated.
And Haruka's like,
Oh.
I've got an idea. We can check newspaper archives online. Call up Kaoru, who is the detective lady, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's the one person in the entire Yakuza franchise that is good at computers. Aside from the Koreans, which is a weird thing, but we'll get to that another day.
Okay.
Calls up Kaoru. Yo, we need your help with this. She comes over. She brings 3 laptops and sets up a fucking algorithm to search for Makoto.
She's bringing a Bitcoin mining with her.
Yeah, well, it's 2006, so Bitcoin hasn't been invented yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
she's still got 3 laptops running searches across all of the Japanese newspapers. And,
this hacker woman comes over.
yeah, she's hacker punching lady. No
Yeah.
wonder Kiryu was in love with her. And yeah, they tease Kiryu about being bad at computers for a bit, and eventually they track her down. She's opened a massage parlor in Sotenbori in Osaka. So, road trip. And by road trip, I mean bullet train trip.
Hey, nice.
So they head on down to Sotenbori. By they, I mean Kiryu and Haruka. Now that they've put all this together. Now they've put this together and can track her down, they're going to Osaka to meet her. They do just that. Kiryu drops Haruka off with some friends of his, and he heads to the massage parlor. Talks to the receptionist a bit. Eventually gets a massage. He's worried he's going to get kicked out because of his cool tattoo, but they seem to be okay with that kind of clientele.
Your tattoo is too cool for us. You must leave.
Well, it's more that he's a Yakuza.
Yeah, I got that, but still.
Sorry,
Yeah, they don't.
dragon
they don't
tattoos are
let you
too
in-
cool. We're only letting
they don't
fish
let you
boys in
in-
now.
Alright.
But no, they let him in. He gets settled down. He's going to get a massage from her. But then she recognizes him. She goes, Kiryu-san, is that you? And he's like, what? You were blind when we met. How do you recognize me? Turns out, she watched the fight on the Millennium Tower last year. Because that was on TV. And she'd heard she knew she was rescued by this tough burly man called Kiryu. So when she saw that was on the news, she was like, aha, that's gotta be him.
Oh, okay.
So that's why she recognizes him. So they reminisce a bit. They talk about sort of what they've been doing for the past... They've not seen each other for 20 years, so they sort of catch up. She mentions that she broke up with the doctor. And
Convenient. Okay.
because there's a guy she's always loved instead. And
Oh, here we go. Okay.
before I get to that, they briefly reminisce about Nishiki, because he was so nice back in the 80s. I'm sorry it ended that way. And Kira's like, yeah,
Okay.
me too. But he chose his death in the end and made his peace. Hopefully he's in a better place now. So I can hear Grace just doesn't care about Nishiki, because she does not ship that at all.
Was my dead silence that
Yeah,
much
you
of a
just like,
giveaway?
Sure, Nishiki, that twat.
Yeah. I'm looking at myself in the mirror going, God, get on with it.
So, but anyway, he talks about Majima. He's left the Yakuza. He runs a construction company now. You should go and, yeah, we'll see him. Do you want to go see him? And Makoto's like, yes, let's go. We'll do this. So, we're halfway there.
Yes.
So, Chapter 2. Life is better with me and you. Getting Makoto on board with the plan was easy. Getting Majima on board, however, was a whole nother level of difficulty.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
So, a lot of this is Kiryu trying to find the right time to convince Majima to come, see her. First attempt, they're doing the construction battle thing that happens in-game. That's another long story.
Okay.
And Kiryu's like, oh yeah, I met Makoto. And then knife straight to his throat. Like, I told you to drop it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Kiryu's like, oh, sorry. Get the fuck out, Kiryu. I don't care, don't want to see her. And there's a few attempts to try and talk about this. They all end in fights.
Why don't they just push him in the room together?
And that's when Haruka suggests, why not just push them in a room together?
Yay!
So
Yeah, I've got the same plans as an 8-year-old. Oh yeah.
Kiryu calls up
Simplicity
Majima.
is best.
So Kiryu calls up Majima. Majima no Nissan. I'm sorry I kept pushing you. I was wrong. Do you want to get ramen at 7 o'clock? It's entirely on me. You can eat as much as you want. I promise to never bring up Makoto again. And Majima's like, yeah, go on. Fine, do it. I'm going to drain your wallet. Then they hang up. Kiryu immediately calls Makoto.
The noodle bar 7.
Hey, you've got a date we're going to Kyushu #1 star in Kamurocho. Personally, I don't think that's a great date spot. If I was going to take a girl out in Kamurocho, it'd probably be the posh meat place.
I think he'd suspect it.
But
at
he
that
might
point,
suspect it, so
Yeah.
I suppose it works. But I mean, it's sort of like this nice local-looking place there, but there's better choices. But yeah, that's just me being picky. So we fast forward to the Kiryu describes Majima. He's got short hair, an eye patch, a goatee. He'll probably be wearing his usual attire, which is a snakeskin jacket and a construction hat. He never takes it off anymore. I'm going to stick around just in case anything goes wrong. So we cut to everyone at the ramen shop. Kiryu is hiding in the closet with Haruka. Haruka insisted on coming, which is sort of fair, because this is mostly her plan now. But now they're just sort of
She wants to
hiding
watch it
in
all
the
come
cupboard,
together.
like with it slightly creaked open, just watching for this happening.
Oh god.
And, yeah. Majima shows up first. He's still wearing the hard hat.
Of course he is.
He calls Kiryu. Kiryu's phone goes off in the cupboard. And he's like, oh, shit, hang up. He's kind of suspicious, but he doesn't sort of do anything about it. So he's like, okay, I'm just going to wait. Lights a cigarette. Makoto shows up in a sundress. And jaw just drops. Cigarette falls right out of his mouth. He's just like, oh, shit, what's she doing here?
Oh, no.
He just breaks. He's stammering. And, fuck, what are you doing here? And, yeah, it's very cute. Eventually they go in. They sort of talk things over, being like, why haven't you come to find me? I mean, you know what I look like. You could have come to find me. I've spent the last 18 years looking for you. Majima's just like, Kiryu, you son of a bitch. So the reason Majima hasn't got in touch is because being a Yakuza is a hard life, and I don't want you getting involved, because it could be hard.
Oh, I can see Majima's a man of honor.
He wants to make sure she's safe
Yeah.
more than anything. She then finds out he's the reason that doctor got together with him. Got together with her, sorry. But she's like, no, I wasn't into it. My heart was taken by someone else. And I was just like, oh, who? And then she goes in for a kiss. So she is the top in this relationship.
Hey!
All right.
And they go in, they have their date. It's very sweet. And after a few minutes, and after sort of reading the body language, Kiryu tries to sneak out of the cupboard with Haruka to give them some space. Majima catches them, just looks at him, and then they just lets them go on. Like, he sort of looks away, sort of lets him continue sneaking out. Kiryu and Haruka go get takoyaki together, and yeah, date goes well.
Good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
The next time Majima meets Kiryu, he decks him. They're in they have their fight in the Colosseum, which happens quite a lot in the Yakuza games. Majima goes all out, and Kiryu gets his ass handed to him, which is rare. So Kiryu's just like, oh,
So
shit.
Kiryu turns the power off and tries again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I normally do. Just save scum. Alt F4, reload that bad boy. But unfortunately, Kiryu doesn't have that power in real life.
Okay.
I'm guessing he doesn't have the power to stop time and chug energy drinks like he does in the games as well. But who knows? But yeah, after the fight, Majima confronts him. Just goes, I'm only saying this once, so you better listen. Thanks. And then he just walks out.
Hey! Nice.
When Kiryu gets home, he finds a massive pile of teddies for him and a golden chain with a locket. Inside the locket is a photo of Kiryu and Haruka that was taken, like someone was stalking them and took a photo of them together. Kinda cute, kinda
So,
threatening. Yeah, it was Majima sort of giving him
It's
a...
always fucking Majima
I
stalking
know.
him and jumping out at him.
This is Majima's way of giving him a thank you present. And he's just like, okay. Yeah, Majima's a good guy, deep down, despite pretending that he isn't. And I would love to say that this is happily ever after, and that's the end of the fic. But it's not, because we continue the plot of Yakuza 3 after this line break, which means Majima gets dragged back to the Tojo clan
Oh, no.
by Kiryu. Because this is the thing, Kiryu, he wants to raise Haruka somewhere where she's going to be safe, and that means Okinawa.
Yeah.
He's got plans, he's going to build an orphanage, he's going to raise loads of kids. But Kiryu can't be a dad and supervise the Tojo clan. He needs someone strong to make sure shit doesn't fall apart the moment he walks away. And the only person he knows strong enough to do that is Majima.
Oh no! So
So he
Majima's getting.
He convinces Majima to return. But
Kiryu, what the fuck was the point in getting these two together and then
It
just
did
being
break
like,
my
oh,
heart
now
a
I'm going to
little
drag
bit.
you apart with business.
Yeah, this.
So we get a scene very similar to the start of Yakuza 3, where Kiryu meets Majima at the top of the Millennium Tower. He's trying to convince him to join the Tojo clan. The difference is that Makoto is here too, and when they go to have their fight, Kiryu just gives Makoto a look, being like, is it okay if we have a scrap? And Makoto just sort of gives them like a reluctant thumbs up. She's like, ugh, fine, do your thing.
Get out your system.
It's very
go
cute.
on.
And
Oh.
yeah, after the fight, Majima's just like, you're lucky I owe you, and that Makoto is a saint. I guess we're even now.
Fair
Makoto,
enough.
I'll meet up with you later. I have business to attend to. And by business, he means rejoining the Tojo clan. So,
No.
I'd like to think it still works out okay.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, they're still dating, but, oh man, it's a liability for the rest of the game. I hope nothing bad happens to her.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I want this to be the
On
fix-it
the
fic.
flip side, it cuts to her wearing like cheetah print outfit and fucking iced up.
She becomes the gang queen.
she's
that
like-
she was
And like
always
someone
destined to
comes
be.
at her and it's like, right, we'll take you hostage. She just pulls out this gold-plated pistol and takes someone out between the eyes and goes, I'll send you to the. I'll get him at Nishada to send you to the pig pen
We're
or
going to
whatever
the
his
Shadow
name
Realm.
you know. And he just comes in like, oh, handling business for me again, honey. And she's just like, yeah, another day in the office, babe. It's good, this gangster shit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of the fic. It's Kiryu leaving Kamurocho to go start his orphanage. This sort of explains something in Yakuza 3, because Majima's fashion sense improves drastically between Yakuza 2 and Yakuza 3.
No, I bet it doesn't.
And you think it's this?
No, it does. I think it's Makoto's influence is getting him the sick drip that he has in Yakuza 3. Let me-
What's the sick drip in Yakuza 3?
Okay, he trades his snakeskin jacket for a different outfit.
I was going to argue that the snakeskin outfit was the better one, but alright, let's see what this drip
let me
is.
find it.
Pop it in the
I'm getting
Discord.
there.
By the way, while you're looking for that,
Yep.
I looked up karaoke places
Oh,
in
yeah?
and around relatively nearby areas. They're a bit far out, some of them.
Okay.
But I saw one in Cambridge, which looked quite swanky. It was just a bar sort of looking thing. And then I saw one in Huntingdon,
Okay.
which was, to my surprise, a pub called the Lord Protector, which is the most dangerous pub on the council estate. And I don't know why it's been listed by Google as a karaoke bar, because that's fucking
It
frightening.
probably has a karaoke night where everyone goes and gets
Yeah.
beaten up.
Yeah, and
It's just
the
like
most-
Yakuza.
Yeah, it is. It's the literal Yakuza karaoke
Well,
experience.
I'll be sure to park a bike outside so I can beat anyone up by hitting them with the bike at the end.
There's no point. Kids would have nicked
Oh,
it the
God,
yeah,
moment
it
you
would,
put it
wouldn't
down.
I just posted a photo.
Alright, that's not an upgrade. That's just a
He's
suit
got
with
a
a black
cool
shirt.
black and red suit. I think it looks great. Like,
It does look great, but
No.
it's not a snakeskin jacket. I'm sorry.
no.
No, where's the steel toe cap boots? That thing was
I
sick.
think he's still wearing the boots.
He's not a main character anymore. Look at him. He's just
Well-
he just looks like a pencil
See,
pusher.
that's the thing. He is
with an
no
eye
longer a
patch.
main character. That's sort of the point.
Well, no wonder he looks so dead inside.
Well, he
Look
looks
at
dead
him.
inside
Oh,
because he's had to
Matt.
rejoin the Tojo clan.
He looks dead inside because he's not wearing a snakeskin suit.
No,
And he's clearly getting
I
a
think he
massage
looks
from someone
great.
who's not Makoto.
So I think Makoto was worried about him catching a cold because he is in his 40s, running around topless with a snakeskin jacket. So I think she made him
It might
wear the
have been
suit.
summer.
No, it's always Christmas.
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
all the games are set during Christmas.
Oh, fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
Are they really?
The first two are for sure.
He's
Okay.
He's always wearing a beer jacket and getting into fights. He's never cold.
And, yeah, Makoto was worried sick. And that's why she made him dress appropriately for the weather.
Well, I'm I'm glad that it's not canon because I prefer him wild and free.
Oh, the suit is canon.
No, I mean, like, he doesn't stay in that suit, does he?
For the third game, he does. For the fourth and fifth games, he's barely in it, and we don't actually see his outfit.
Is it in the Ichiban one?
He is.
He's got that
he's got
cutscene,
the
isn't he?
snakeskin jacket as in the Ichiban games in Yakuza
Hey,
7.
nice.
It's funnily enough.
There we go.
In Yakuza 7, there's a massive difficulty spike, which coincides with you meeting Majima. Like, the game's fairly easy for a while, and then you get to the level where Majima's the final boss, and you're like, oh no. And he just wipes the floor with
Spoilers.
you. Yeah. If you're listening to this, you knew there were spoilers. But it feels very appropriate that Majima's the difficulty spike, because
Yes.
like you've seen him for the last 3 games. You know that he's hard as nails, and you know he's just gonna deck you.
Yeah.
And then he does. But yeah, that was the fic. I'm glad to have found some Makoto and Majima fix-it fix. I would like to briefly mention there is another fic by this author that I read earlier, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It is called... Oh, actually, there's 2 I want to shout out. One I haven't read yet, but I love it from the title. So the first one is called A Convention for Two. It is a Majima and Haruka fic, where Majima takes Haruka to a anime convention and redeems
nice.
himself in her eyes after the whole kidnapping thing.
Oh, good.
It's very cute. It's just Majima being the cool uncle that Haruka has always needed.
Oh, that's nice.
The other fic of theirs that I really like the look of is called Majima the House Husband, which is a crossover between Yakuza and Way of the House Husband. It's got Majima as the house husband. It's not the one we talked about last episode, though. There's another one where Majima is a house husband. So, yeah.
Who's he married to?
Makoto.
Okay.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Grace.
Not Kiryu,
It's fine.
unfortunately.
I take it he still meets up with Kiryu and they talk about washing and making biscuits together.
I haven't read it yet, but I really hope so. I'll be reading that once we're done and possibly reporting back. We shall see. But yes, thank you, Phantom Hearts. Love it. I should also point
Very
out,
good.
Phantom Hearts, they mentioned in their notes that their Twitter name is Magi Makos, so it's very clear where their loyalties lie.
Yes.
In terms of who they think Majima's heart belongs to. And I firmly agree, and I don't care what you say, Grace. As the one who's played the games, I...
Oh, okay.
Oh! As the one who's had to sit through you texting me and screenshotting everything that happens in those games
not
over the
everything,
course of 2 years, I'll think what I fucking like.
That's fair. So for listeners, just during lockdown, like, Yakuza was my escape, and I would just tell Grace what's happening, because...
And he would not let me escape from his escape.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, you could have said stop at any time, and you didn't, so... Yeah. That sounded weird out loud. Maybe I shouldn't have said.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Wow.
But yeah, I definitely think that's... Oh no! What have we learned today?
Stop asking me this.
No.
I don't learn anything from these interactions. I just have a good time and then my mind goes blank and then you ask me that and it's just like, this is so stress-inducing.
So, I
What do you want me to say? What's the generic thing I can say every single time you ask me this
There
pointless
isn't a
question,
generic
mate?
thing. That's the point of me asking.
Oh. Nick, what did you learn?
I've learned that Majima has feelings too.
Yep,
Okay,
he does.
So
good answer.
Yeah.
I feel ashamed because
I really like that a lot of the fics we've seen mirror the story beats of a Yakuza sub-story.
yeah,
Like, this is how a lot of the side quests go in these games. And I think a lot of them could just fit right in. Like, if I was a Sega writer and I was stuck for ideas, you could take a lot of these and copy and paste them into the game, and you'd probably only get sued a little bit. It would be a legal grey area anyway, since Sega owns the characters.
yeah.
Don't do
absolutely.
that, though. That's a dick move. Like, reach out and ask before.
Yeah, and at least credit the
Absolutely.
people that you're taking the stories off.
But Matchmaking for a Stubborn Idiot could definitely fit in as a Yakuza 2 sub-story.
Yes.
where Kiryu just gets determined to set them up, and I would have liked to see that.
Oh,
Okay.
it would have been rather lovely.
There was something I was saying to Grace earlier. A lot of these fics we find are surprisingly deep and somber. Like, there's hardly any crack in the Yakuza fanbase. And
It was quite surprising.
my theory for that is that all the crack scenarios are already canon to the games, and that makes it really hard to write a crack fic in the Yakuza universe. Because, like, if I was going to go in and write something, I'd be like, okay, sure, let's have Kiryu meet Michael Jackson, and they do Thriller together, and they'd be like, oh, that's already
Wait.
happened in the games. Or how about he gets called up and has to star in a gay porn? Oh, that's happened too. Okay. How about there's zombies, and then yeah, you get the idea.
So the one thing that eludes our overblown charismatic gangsters is love and life itself, it seems.
Yeah, no matter what timeline we're in, these boys will never be happy, and that makes me quite sad.
Yeah.
There's always something there ruining that.
So I think we found our very first Fix-It fandom, haven't we?
We need to fix this entire fandom and make sure these boys are happy.
No, we don't. Like, the entire fandom is the Fix-It. Like,
I see what you mean
that
now.
we've...
Yeah.
Nearly everything that we have found is a Fix-It fic.
It's an attempt to make these boys less sad, because
Yeah,
God knows
exactly.
they deserve it.
They do.
Oh.
I don't know what you've been reading, but out of the 20-something fics I was reading, there was a lot of unhappy endings as well.
Yeah.
I don't think
there
they're shy of beating them up further. These authors, they like to put them through some
For
shit.
sure.
Torture the cinnamon roll.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is an ongoing thing, isn't it? Oh, he looks nice. Let's squish him.
Well, luckily the fandom hasn't really got their mitts on Ichiban just yet. Or at least
I
not.
haven't seen a lot for him.
Yeah, I think he's only had one game, so give it time, and I think we'll see more Ichiban eventually. But he's the most precious Cinnabon Kazuga. Bless him.
The itchy bun.
The precious Ichiban deserves happiness because he's had a miserable time, and I hope the fandom gets round to giving him a happy life eventually.
Oh,
Honestly, I hope Sega does as well.
He's going to get so fucked up, it's unreal.
Probably.
But
I
we'll
don't
see
think
what
there's a
happens.
consistent... I don't think they've settled on who they ship him with yet either. I mean, there was a lot of Zhao and a lot of Nanba, but...
Gotta be Nancy.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cute. Not literally, though. Don't fuck a crayfish. I'm trying to remember who I shipped him with. I mean, there's Emmy, but she's barely in the game, because she's like an optional character, so she just disappears in cutscenes, and I always feel bad for her. But anyway, this is me rambling about Yakuza. Enough of that. Probably all we've got time for, so thank you very much for listening if you've made it this far. Join us next time. How do we tease this next one?
What is the next one?
We're going to be talking about Heartstopper.
We're going to be talking about Heartstopper.
Join us
Have
next
fun.
time.
Good night.
Where there's... Fine, yeah, it is getting late. Join us next time. We're going to be talking about Heartstopper. If you've enjoyed the show, best way to support us is to spread the word. Let's tell people about this weird thing that you found of these three idiots talking about fanfiction.
And for next time, make sure you're wearing your pacemaker.
Yes. Be sure to wear your pacemaker, because
Fuck's
we'll
sake.
probably be stopping some hearts next time.
Wink, wink,
Yeah.
nudge, nudge.
All five of
Wink,
us
wink,
on the
nudge,
show that time.
All five of us.
Is it?
All five of us. Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Join us next time. And don't get into any shirtless brawls on the top of the Millennium Tower.
Unless you want to.
Unless
we
you
won't
want- oh, yeah,
stop
we-
you. Just film it.
We're not the police.
Put it on TikTok or the Vine.
Yeah,
Make
make
sure
it
it's
look
with your
awesome.
best bro. Like, make sure it's over friendship or something else.
Yeah. Nothing that actually gets in the way of being a crime lord, like actual crime.
Don't do actual crime.
Don't do actual crime.
Fist bump afterwards.
Yeah. It's not gay
Yes.
if you fist bump afterwards.
It's a shirtless brawl. It's a shirtless brawl. Probably in the rain if it's in the UK.
Absolutely. Good night,
on
everyone.
top of the shard.
Yes.
Okay, done.
Come to think of it, that I tell you what, that building does look like the ideal, like,
Shirtless brawl players.
it looks like where the villain is trying to build his his like super weapon, and the hero has to come off on top and have a shirtless
Isn't
brawl
the
with him to
shard the
get
one
him
that
to
melts
stop.
people's cars?
Nah, that's the other
Oh,
one.
okay.
And the guy who made it has got like a extensive
Yeah,
history
he's
of
made
making
multiple
buildings
buildings
that melt
cars.
people.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to go into
And
that sometime.
people.
Yeah.
Like it hits like 60 to
He keeps
70
building
degrees
death
under where it
rays.
goes. He does, and no one stopped him, and I don't understand why.
I think he
Either
has
way,
been stopped.
no, the shard is that not that one. I think the shard is just the one built by the Tories, which is why
That's
it's
why
so
it's full of
fucking
villains,
menacing.
Yeah.
Moral of the story: the Yakuza are better than the Tories. Good night.
And that's where we can leave it.
Yeah. If the general election in the UK was between Kiryu Kazuma and Boris Johnson, it's not even close.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Like, he'd rip his shirt off and everyone would vote for him. Anyway, enough on that.
Doesn't Ichiban like
He
try to run
does,
for?
yeah. Towards the end of the game, Ichiban runs for office. He might actually be an MP in Japan by the start of Yakuza 8. It's kind of unclear on if... It's unclear if he won the election by default or not. Because
Oh,
the person
okay.
he was running against turns out to be evil, and there's a shirtless brawl at the end of the election, and Ichiban wins the
course.
shirtless brawl. I don't know if that means he won the election as well. I guess we'll find out in Yakuza 8.
Definitely.
It'd be great if you're just playing as a fucking MP through the whole game. I'm an MP, but I have to rip my shirt off and brawl. And the whole game is about Japanese politics.
Oh, politics will be
Real
so
life,
much more
you're-
interesting.
Real life, you're an aspiring MP. You don't know how to do any of it. You look to Yakuza for hints, and you're like, "Shit, I've got to tone up. I've got to deck the opposition." Shit.
God, I hope that's how the series goes.
I was like, "Oh, why is our local MP just getting swole? God, he can't even fit through the doors anymore, and he just keeps saying he's ready. What the?" Is he alright? No. He's only got one more year
Guzzling
left
protein.
in before he might get voted out. What has he spent his time doing? God, that's what it feels like in this country anyway.
Okay, I think that's enough. It's getting late. Good night, everyone.
Alright,
Vote for Ichiban.
good night.
Good night.